Welcome back. Today we're exploring the world's most closed doors, countries with the strictest immigration policies. While we often celebrate open borders and global travel, some nations keep their doors firmly shut, shaping who belongs and who doesn't. These policies aren't just about paperwork. They reflect deep questions of identity, politics, and culture. In a world that feels connected, these borders remind us how real and rigid lines can be. We'll uncover why some countries guard their gates so tightly, from preserving tradition to maintaining control. Our focus, the human stories, and the reasons behind these nearly impenetrable barriers. Let's begin our journey into the world's most exclusive countries. First up, North Korea, the global symbol of closed borders. Here, immigration isn't just difficult, it's virtually impossible. The government's control is absolute, and the idea of foreigners settling in North Korea is unthinkable. For North Koreans, leaving without permission is treason. For outsiders, entry is seen as a threat, not an opportunity. Tourism is tightly controlled. Visitors are escorted everywhere, shown only what the regime wants them to see. You're never alone and every interaction is monitored. The few foreigners allowed in, diplomats, select aid workers, or business people from allied nations, live in isolated compounds under constant watch. Citizenship is tied to bloodline and loyalty to the Kim dynasty. The state ideology, Juche, demands self-reliance and rejects foreign influence. Foreigners are portrayed as potential spies or aggressors, making integration culturally and ideologically taboo. Rare exceptions exist, like Cold War defectors, but they remain outsiders, used for propaganda, never truly accepted. North Korea's borders are more than lines. They're walls built to keep a worldview in and the rest of the world out. For most, the idea of moving to North Korea is pure fiction. The door isn't just locked, it's as if it was never meant to exist. In every sense, North Korea is the world's most closed-off society. The regime's grip on movement is a reflection of its desire for total control. Even the rarest foreign residents are kept at arm's length, their lives strictly managed. The message is clear. North Korea is not a country you can choose to call home. Its isolation is both a policy and a core part of its identity. The outside world is kept at bay, and the inside world is tightly contained. For those dreaming of life in the DPRK, the reality is simple. The door is sealed, and the key is lost. North Korea stands as the ultimate example of a nation turned inward. Its borders are a physical and ideological barrier to the rest of humanity. Here, belonging is not just exclusive, it's nearly impossible. Next, Saudi Arabia, a land of oil wealth and strict immigration rules. Millions of foreign workers power its economy, but almost all are temporary residents. The kafala system ties every expat's legal status to their employer. Lose your job, lose your right to stay. There's no path from guest worker to citizen, no matter how long you live there. Even children born in Saudi Arabia to foreign parents remain foreigners. Citizenship is based on ancestry, not birthplace, and is rarely granted except in extraordinary cases. The system preserves national identity and protects the privileges of Saudi citizens. Social benefits, like free healthcare and education, are reserved for citizens only. Recent reforms offer limited long-term residency for wealthy investors and top professionals, but not citizenship. The message, you're welcome to work, but not to belong. Saudi Arabia's approach is about flexibility, control, and cultural preservation. The door is open for business, but closed to permanent membership. Generations of expats may call Saudi Arabia home, but true belonging remains out of reach. The country's identity is fiercely protected, and the line between guest and citizen is clear. Even as the nation modernizes, its immigration stance remains one of the world's most exclusive. For most, Saudi Arabia is a place to work, not to settle. The system ensures the national family stays small and distinct. In the kingdom, residency is temporary and citizenship is a rare privilege. The door to belonging is firmly shut. Now to Bhutan, a Himalayan kingdom famed for gross national happiness and strict cultural preservation. Bhutan's immigration policy is designed to protect its unique traditions from outside influence. Tourism is tightly regulated. Most visitors must join pre-approved tours and pay high daily fees, keeping numbers low. Moving to Bhutan is nearly impossible. Foreigners are allowed only for specific, temporary work and must leave when their contract ends. There's no open path for skilled migration or permanent residency. Citizenship is fiercely guarded, requiring decades of residency, fluency in Dzongkha and royal approval. Dual citizenship is forbidden. Loyalty must be absolute. The country's history, including the expulsion of the Lot Shampa minority, shapes its cautious approach. Bhutan's policies prioritize cultural survival over economic or political openness. The focus is on maintaining a stable, homogeneous society. For outsiders, Bhutan remains enchanting but almost entirely inaccessible as a home. The door is open a crack for a select few but closed to most. Here, immigration policy is a tool for identity preservation. Bhutan's choice: protect heritage even if it means keeping the world at bay. For most, Bhutan is a place to visit, not to belong. Next, Liechtenstein, a tiny, wealthy alpine principality with one of the world's most exclusive residency systems. Each year, only a handful of residency permits are available for non-European Economic Area citizens. Half go to essential skilled workers, the rest are distributed by lottery. Even EEA and Swiss citizens face restrictions and must prove employment and housing. The goal: keep the population's small infrastructure manageable and quality of life high. The path to citizenship is daunting: 30 years of residency or a community vote after 10 years. Integration isn't just about living there, it's about being accepted by your neighbors. Liechtenstein's approach is pragmatic, not ideological, protecting stability and resources. The country is a carefully managed garden, cautious about new arrivals. Residency is a rare privilege and citizenship is even rarer. The system ensures the community remains close-knit and sustainable. For most, Liechtenstein is a statistical longshot. The door is open only to a select few, by design. Here, exclusivity is about size, not just tradition. It's one of the hardest places in the world to call home. Now, Vatican City, the world's smallest state, and the ultimate example of exclusive residency. You can't immigrate here, apply for asylum, or be born a citizen. Citizenship is granted only to those who work for the Holy See: clergy, Swiss guards, and essential staff. When your job ends, so does your citizenship. The community is defined by religious and administrative roles, not by family or ancestry. Even the Swiss Guard must meet strict criteria: single, Catholic, Swiss, and military trained. Lay staff may hold citizenship, but only while employed. Children born in the Vatican don't inherit citizenship. It's always temporary. The principle is jus officii, citizenship by office, not by birth or blood. The Vatican isn't a traditional nation, but a spiritual headquarters with a rotating staff. There's no permanent population, no diaspora, no generational continuity. Millions visit, but only a few can ever reside within its walls. The doors are open to pilgrims, but closed to settlers. Vatican City is a country you serve, not one you can simply join. It's the ultimate company town, where the company is a 2,000-year-old faith. Turkmenistan, Central Asia's secretive gas-rich nation, rivals North Korea in its isolation. The visa process is unpredictable and often ends in rejection, with no explanation. Tourists must be accompanied by state-approved guides, with fixed itineraries and no unsupervised contact with locals. Permanent immigration is virtually impossible. The idea of a foreigner settling here is unthinkable. The government's control is total, from media to internet, and dissent is not tolerated. Foreign residents are limited to diplomats and select energy workers, living in isolated compounds. Citizenship is based on loyalty to the regime, not open to outsiders. The country's positive neutrality translates to extreme isolationism. Even Turkmen citizens face heavy travel restrictions. Borders are designed to keep people in as much as to keep foreigners out. Turkmenistan is a modern hermit kingdom, sealed off by bureaucracy and suspicion. For would-be immigrants, the door is hidden, locked, and unmarked. The state's priority: total control and minimal outside influence. Here, belonging is reserved for the few, and the world remains at arm's length. Finally, Kuwait, a Gulf state where expats make up 70% of the population, yet almost all are temporary residents. The kafala system ties every foreigner's status to their employer, creating insecurity and dependence. Lose your job, and you must quickly find a new sponsor or leave. Citizens enjoy extensive benefits. Expats do not, creating a clear two-tiered society. Citizenship is nearly impossible for non-Muslims, and rarely granted even after decades of residency. Foreign women married to Kuwaiti men can apply after many years, but the reverse isn't true. The system protects a patrilineal, exclusive national identity. The goals safeguard wealth and generous welfare for citizens. Demographic imbalance has sparked calls for Kuwaitization, further limiting expat opportunities. Despite its multicultural surface, Kuwait maintains a rigid wall between guests and hosts. For most, Kuwait is a place to work, not to belong. The door to citizenship is tightly shut, preserving privilege for the few. For millions, Kuwait is a temporary stop, not a permanent home. From North Korea's ideological fortress to Liechtenstein's pragmatic exclusivity, these countries strictly control who can belong. In a connected world, these borders remind us that the freedom to move and belong is far from universal. Lines on the map reflect deep histories and choices that shape millions of lives. These stories challenge our assumptions about identity and belonging. Understanding these barriers is the first step toward empathy and connection. If you found this eye-opening, please subscribe for more global insights. Thanks for watching. See you on the next journey.